Thank you, Javier, for your very, very generous words for this award that means so much to me, and for your exceptional leadership. What would you say, if you had a word to describe Javier, would you say he is a human catalyst? I mean, he brings so many people together, so many ideas together to make things happen in a way that has so much more benefit than not acting alone. I am so honored to have his invitation to be with you once again. The last time we were together in a large group was the very day that Administrator Maria Contreras-Sweet was confirmed unanimously by the United States Senate. You remember, some of you were in Washington, D.C. that day. So to her, and we thank the President for recognizing her excellence. As Californians, I know there's some Californians here, and David Lizraga, whom I met, 40 years ago, David, about small business in the Hispanic community. We all know of Maria, the administrator's great talent, and are very proud of her, and proud that the President has 3 Hispanics in the cabinet, and then in addition to that, a Latina on the Supreme Court of the United States. That's so important to all of us. Mark Rodriguez, Mr. Chairman, thank you for your extraordinary leadership as well of the Chamber. I thank you all for this Excellence 2014 Excellence in Leadership Award. It is such an honor for me to receive it, especially to receive it in the company of so many exceptional Latino and Latina leaders. I add my heartiest congratulations to the winners of this year's entrepreneurship competition, Yamila Constantino Mendez, Betty Mineta, Gail Smith. The spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation of business leaders represented by the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce never fails to impress. Every chance I get, I want to acknowledge your leadership and the great leadership of Javier Palomares, and thank the USHCC for your action and advocacy on behalf of the Latino business community, supporting diversity, expanding access to capital and business opportunity, investing in the education of the next generation of business leaders. Thanks to the energy of the businessmen and businesswomen gathered here, the Latino community, I say this without any hesitation, the Latino community has become one of the most dynamic and entrepreneurial forces in our country ever, ever. As you all know, small business is the engine of economic growth and job creation in America. Women-owned minority business is the fastest growing segment of new small businesses across the country. Even against the phenomenal growth and success of Latino-owned businesses in America, Latina entrepreneurs are in a class of your own, starting up companies at 6 times the national average. Now, let me just say this. I have 5 children, 4 daughters, all businesswomen with children. I just don't know how they do it. I do have a son as well. And I remember when they were all little, he would say to his sisters, "Don't act like a girl." So I was very touched by the opening film. Don't do that like a girl. But they do it like a girl, and the way you all do it, I'm totally in awe of you, how you balance it all. Because starting a small business has to be the most optimistic thing a person can do, right? Maybe getting married. So with all of the challenge and all of the imagination and all of the energy that you bring to it, it is no wonder that you are the growth engine. Now, some of you are not so small anymore, but nonetheless, all of you make a big difference. And nothing is more essential to the growth of our economy and more wholesome to the future of our country than the increased participation of women in leadership, with a seat at the table and a seat at the head of the table, whether it's in business, government, national security, academic world, wherever. For us to expand opportunity and build prosperity in America, we must unleash the full power of women, of America's women. We must empower women with the tools to succeed for themselves and for our country. I was interested in hearing Javier say something that we say every day in the Congress. When women succeed, America succeeds. It is the title of our agenda for women and families. But it's not just a title, a Democratic House member title. It is a statement of absolute fact. What is the best thing you can do to grow the U.S. economy? Empower women, unleash the power of women. And what women have told us as we go around the country, and I had such a session yesterday in New Orleans before coming here, the things that would make a difference to them, if you're starting a business, for example, or if you are a worker, is to have quality, affordable childcare so that women can balance home and work. Men too, but women bear the larger responsibility. To have paid sick leave so that you can balance home and work. It helps men too. And to have equal pay for equal work. Why is it hard to think that that's not a good idea? It's ridiculous to think. It's ridiculous to think that women should not be paid equally as men. And we must raise the minimum wage. Over 60% of the people making the minimum wage are women, many of them Latinas. And the disparity in income in terms of equal pay for equal work is even greater among Latinas and the general population. And to all the young women who are here, and I met some from the University of Utah and other institutions of higher learning, when you leave school, the difference between you and your male counterparts will never be closer. It will only grow more desperate as time goes by. It's simply unacceptable. It's simply unacceptable that the difference will only grow. So we have to let people know that women vote, and Latina vota, Latina vota. Do I have the order right? I know you're here. When women vote, women succeed, and America succeeds. Our women's economic jump is at the heart of our Jump Start, and this is an opportunity that I want to talk to you about. The Jump Start to create jobs and new ladders of opportunity. But to have women succeed and be equally qualified, we must invest in education to keep America #1. Entrepreneurship and innovation begins in the classroom. Therefore, to give the next generation a firm footing to compete and succeed in the 21st century global economy, we must continue not only to strengthen our Hispanic-serving institutions, we must do that, but we must pass legislation to enable students and families to refinance their student loans at a lower rate. That is, because that burden is weighing on the lives of so many young people, and that is a hindrance to entrepreneurship, to have the freedom to do that. Lastly, we'll create good-paying jobs by building roads and rails and water systems and bridges and broadband and all of that. We'll use Build America bonds to build America, paid for by closing tax loopholes of companies sending jobs overseas. Instead, we'll reward companies that make it in America. And that is where some great opportunity is for everyone and everyone in this room. Because when we do these public-private partnerships of building the infrastructure of America, think of the contracting, think of the subcontracting, think of all the opportunity for small businesses to thrive. And yes, I like what the administrator had to say about sole sourcing, because let's save time. Let's get the best. Let's just go to that. There's one other issue, though, that really impedes the growth of our economy, and that is the lack of passing a comprehensive immigration reform bill. Immigration, to reject the bill is not who we are as a country. Our nation was built on the shoulders of generations of immigrants who came here with little more than their hopes, their dreams, and their determination to build a better future for themselves and their families. Every immigrant with these hopes, dreams, and that optimism, every immigrant who comes here makes America more American. I say that all the time because that is how America has grown. Every immigrant makes America more American, no matter whether you've come here 400 years ago or 4 months ago. And the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is living proof of that part of being the success of America. Thank you, U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So while our country continues to be denied the moral and economic benefits of comprehensive immigration reform, we will continue to fight in Congress to enact reform because it is right, and because we respect that immigration is the constant reinvigoration of America. Again, the business community supports it because they know it will invigorate our economy. The religious community, the Bible, the business, the Bible, they support it because they know it is right. The law enforcement community, the badges, they support it because they see the injustices that are happening to families, and that we have to take people out of the shadows and into the bright sunlight of our country. In the meantime, and we must not stop in our fight to pass this legislation, and we must be optimistic that it can be done, and we must vote to tell the tale to everyone that we expect you to be in the lead on comprehensive immigration reform. In the meantime, I know that President Obama will grant our immigrant families administrative relief before the year's out, so that they can have a measure of competence, and those families will not face the pain of unnecessary separation. It's a moral responsibility that we have. It's an action that will happen. It must be done. So, together with the leadership of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we can revitalize the engines of innovation, determination, and entrepreneurship that make our country great. Working together, we'll build a stronger, fairer future for all Americans. Together, we will reignite the American dream. Because of all that you have done, both within this organization and some of you bringing your other organizations, the business community, the religious community, the education community, so many different aspects of our society and our economy here, because of what you do, you make us all really very, very proud. So you can just imagine how boastful I will be to the members of the Hispanic Caucus in Congress, to Nydia Velazquez, the chair and now ranking member of the Small Business Committee, a champion for small business in our country, to all of my colleagues when I tell them, even though I'm not Hispanic, that I received this Excellence in Leadership Award. Thank you. Thank you, women business leaders of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, for reminding the nation and the world. Thank you all, the women leaders, the women business leaders here, and Javier. Thank you for reminding all of us what it means to do it like a girl. Thank you all very much. Don't forget, when women succeed, America succeeds. Thank you, U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all very much.